And we are live. Good morning. It's Spence. It is Friday, February 2nd, 2024. And it is my Friday office hours. Today is a very unusual one because I am going to be introducing a new product concept that is available both for you to use and sell, as well as to inspire you about things you can do if you're already a member of the Launch Kit or the WP Marketing Hub. I'm going to give everybody a chance to wander in here while I double check to make sure that I'm actually streaming live here. I always want to double check. And it appears I'm live. Let's do a sound check. Make sure. There it is. All right. I'm actually streaming. There's nobody here in the studio but me. I'm going to put everybody on an advance notice. This is going to be maybe a shorter one because I'm going to give the quick Spence's journey. Good morning, Donna. Good morning. Thank you for that. Spence's journey about where we're at. The reason that I want to do today's broadcast is that I've had so many of you who are doing so well with using the more complex capabilities that are within Launch Kit and WP Marketing Hub. But there's an entire range of products that should be available, and I'm going to give you a heads up, advance notice. It is a new trend of returning to simplicity, where instead of your customers needing and wanting or buying a recurring revenue SaaS from you, which, by the way, I need to kind of qualify this. One does not obviate another. In other words, it's not that it's either this or that. There can be both in the world, but there's going to be a set of customers, especially when you're trying to build your business at first, or even in my case, when you have an existing audience, who are not interested in, let's say, any subscription thing or recurring thing, but they definitely need an immediate pain point. And so today, and I'll tell you the origin story of this, I wanted to further exemplify how Spence can show you how to simplify what you sell, what you offer, what you do with Poofka. There's a little bit of a story behind that, but the essence of Poofka is it is a streamlined version of the things that most of you already have in the Launch Kit or in the WP Marketing Hub. So you do not need to buy this if you already belong to Launch Kit or Marketing Hub. However, you may decide to offer it as an affiliate, because then that puts the burden directly on me to deliver to your customer, and you get paid $47 for something that I otherwise manage that relationship with. And I'm going to explain the details. So to say this again, the concept of what I'm going to show you is that there are certain customers for whom all the other things, starting with adding people to an email list and marketing automation and membership and ongoing things, is just a bridge too far. It's more than they need, more than they want. And for you, you still have the ability to make a very profitable return on offering them a one-time thing. Now, let me give you the origin story as to where this came from. Kids, back in the day, there used to not be SaaS. SaaS did not exist, as far as I recall, before, I think it was Mark Benioff at Salesforce kind of was one of the first companies that invented the idea of essentially renting software that's hosted by the actual software author. So in the past, Microsoft was the most well-known. They would sell you software that would be installed on your local computers, or if you were in a corporation, it would be installed on a certain number of machines. And then they would charge an arm and a leg and a kidney for somebody from, let's say, Microsoft to come and do service and support, oftentimes in person, because that's basically the only game in town. We didn't have high-speed internet. We didn't have always-on connections. I know to many of you guys out there, this is like, I'm talking gibberish, but there was a whole world of computing from the early 90s until the 2000-ish range where, you know, people were on local networks, and maybe if you're lucky, you had ISDN or something like that. Maybe if you're really ahead of your game in the mid 90s, you got cable modem or something like that. Companies would pay for these things called T1s and T3s, where it cost them $10,000 to get the network connected to the outside world. Okay. So I'm seeing a trend of returning to the simplicity. And what's interesting about it is you see this even like on the cable and the TV kind of channels. So I talk oftentimes how I used to have cable and then I get internet, and now there's internet delivered content like, videos and TV shows and stuff through an interface like a Roku TV. And the original game was that for all these channels like Prime and Netflix and Disney and Hulu, they were all supposed to deliver essentially their best stuff at a fractional cost of what it would be to get it through cable. And as a result, I could a la carte make my own menu of stuff. But they've all gotten greedy. Seriously. And now each one of them wants to charge you a premium on top of the premium, plus make you pay to get rid of ads and force all this stuff. So now I'm probably paying 4 times as much for 10 different individual things that all are trying to be cable by themselves. It's crazy. So I think all of this combined with people's sensitivity to like, look, I'm drowning in options. I have too many choices. You need to spoon feed me. I think that essentially everybody has got this, hey, can't you just give me something simple that I pay for one time and that's it? Hold on one second. Everybody tries to call me right during the show. So I'm just gonna, my family. Okay, so everybody has this inherent openness or request to, hey, I want to return to a simplicity. I just want that one thing. And I'm going to give you another example. Like if you've flown recently, or I don't know, in the last 10 years on an airline, you will notice they have the specialty magazines, right? Like the United or the American Way. And you go in there and there's these ads for stuff, like like a massage gun for your herniated disc. Okay. People buy on impulse when the price is low enough and they realize they're not committing to stuff. You've done it yourself. When you go to the supermarket, that's one of the things that people still actually do in person. You'll notice that at the checkout line are all the impulse buy items, right? The People magazine with Bruce Willis. Unfortunately, he's still got aphasia. You got AA or AAA batteries. You got chocolate. You got chewing gum. You've got stuff that it's in the store, but they know those are the kind of things that people would be attracted to. And they would buy right at the moment and just throw it onto the conveyor. Costco being the exception, they don't do that. But at all other supermarkets, they do it. So impulse buy has always been a real thing, but now more than ever, you can offer impulse buys. Okay, so I framed the environment. Here's the story for me personally as to why I'm going to show you about this Poofka and what it means for you. As part of what I've been developing all of these years with Launch Flows, the plugin, I have many people who know of what it does and how it does it. It effectively brings sales funnel capabilities to a WooCommerce website running WordPress, but kind of almost like selling, this doesn't look like this is a water cup, but imagine this is an oil filter. If somebody has a car, the car has an engine, the engine has oil, the oil needs a filter. That's like 4 steps removed to understanding why somebody needs an oil filter. Launch Flows has always been like an oil filter to a WordPress website with WooCommerce that sells stuff, because it was very difficult for somebody, and even when I ran deals like on AppSumo, to understand why you need a sales funnel thing if your head isn't even in the game of, wait, WordPress, WooCommerce, sales funnel, what are you talking about? What people would understand would be if you said, I'm selling you a little car that takes your kids to school anytime, anywhere, any place. So the difference is having parts that are being sold for a larger, more complex array of things in the WordPress space has been very, very difficult. Selling somebody a one-time solution that does something everybody needs is much, much easier to explain. And so over the years, I've got a good audience and paid customers of the Launch Flows plugin, which is included inside of your launch kit. And in doing so, I had somebody reach out to me recently, this from a larger publishing house that wanted to do kind of like an airline magazine deal. They have online shops and they wanted to offer something that could be impulse bought that would give a solution that most people need. And so today I'm officially announcing Poofka. This was a 6-letter domain that I bought years ago. It actually has an origin in a Polish word that we used to use in the contracting business called Poofka, which means to pay somebody something. And in that context, it didn't really have a favorable connotation, but it was legitimate. You usually paid off the inspector or something in the construction business. It's easy to say, it's easy to spell, it's easy to remember. But what it is under the hood is just a curated set of just a few components, launch flows, WooCommerce subscriptions, put together in the same way, ready to use, so that I, through this product, can offer a one-time purchase of $197 to somebody who wants the best of all the benefits, which is, in today's world, to sell anything they have, anywhere, anytime. For example, I'm on YouTube, I'm on TikTok, I'm on Instagram, I'm on LinkedIn, I have Facebook, I have an email list. I want to sell my digital product, my physical product. I want to sell my courses. I want to sell my subscription to a newsletter. I want to sell something that's a one-on-one consultation, a booking, a training. All of that stuff is remarkably difficult for normal human beings to achieve, or incredibly expensive for no good reason. Let me give you an example. Right now, there's a very popular service called Gumroad, which has been around for some time. Anybody want to take a guess at how much they charge people to just essentially allow you to sell anything anywhere? And by the way, they don't have the same capacity that I can offer through Poofka. They don't give you ownership control. They don't give you your own transactional engine. They don't give you all the dashboard and expandability. This is just take money and let you know what the money is. Well, I'll answer for you. They, in somewhat of a big controversy, decided, I think it's here at the bottom, pricing. They decided to charge 10%. 10%. So if you sell $100, you give them 10. If you sell $1,000, you give them 100. If you sell $100,000, you give them 10 G's. That's a lot of Poofka for them simply to allow people to buy your stuff. And it doesn't give you the ownership control. And as an intermediary, it doesn't give you the chance of selling or doing more. And what do I mean by that? Well, imagine with a solution that does the same thing, if you could have basically a very simple baby website that's based on the same stuff in LaunchKit, the same stuff that's in Marketing Hub. The person you sell it to is today very impulsive. They say today, oh, $197, I'm all in. Who do you think they're going to ask to help them do a little customization for $250 an hour? Who do you think they're going to ask when you, let's say, make it clear that they could add an email list to collect leads, or that they could add a CRM, or they could add a membership site, or they could add, in other words, you're giving them that sample razor blade handle with the razor blades on it for an impulse buy. They get everything they need. They keep it for life. But as soon as they want more, they just move up to your subscription. They move up to your 97, your 297. Simple. The way I can help you is that you can either take this model that I'm showing you, and with what you've already got in LaunchKit and Marketing Hub, you can do it yourself because the parts are all there. Or I'm offering a simple proposition, because I'm going to be selling this at mass scale, for a $47 referral. So you can simply just send your customers to buy Poofka directly. Let me deal with all the other stuff, and you take $47 from that. Now, the upside and downside of that, of course, is that if you're not dealing with them directly, it may not be as easy for you to convince them that you're the person to do the more complex stuff, the subscription, the membership, whatever. But I think you can probably find a balancing act in between. Okay. I have a demonstration here to show you what this really means in the real world. One of the things that was, I think, most instrumental in this whole conversation is, I've talked to you guys before about the incredible Canva website. Canva is a place that everybody can make really cool, beautiful stuff with very little, if any, skill. I've taught most of you how to use it. There is this enormous marketplace, Etsy, that allows people who are intermediaries, much like yourself, to just say, you know what, I'm going to come up with a solution of something that's super beautiful, and I'm going to create a template for Canva. So I could say Canva templates. Whether it's for business or otherwise, there are literally hundreds and hundreds of these available, and they range from tens of dollars to hundreds of dollars. And you will see that here's somebody selling Canva frames mega bundle, 1,000 sales almost for $40. there's not inconsequential amounts of sales happening here for somebody who's doing nothing more than just making pretty templates in Canva that outline what people need ready to use. And in the same way, Canva provides the ability, as I've shown you before, to turn any graphic into an immediate website. So for example, if you were a person who's just not really skilled but wants to make pretty stuff, or you're working in a company and you have a Canva account, free or paid, it's so easy to say website design. Canva offers a billion different things that somebody could just literally click on to make an immediate website, right? So I go, this looks great. Let's use this one. And all you need here is the ability to essentially change the design as you wish and change the button to add the thing you're selling to your Poofka. And the Poofka is your transactional engine, which is streamlined down to be nothing more than a product. You don't need to worry about any of the other stuff. Poofka delivers ready to use everything that's necessary so that in 5 easy steps, somebody can get going. Let me show you. Here's a demo of Poofka. This is what somebody would get when they start out with it. They only need to change out their own logo if they want, and or change it to words. On the back end, it has those 3 components that are key: WooCommerce, launch flows, and I'm including WooCommerce subscriptions in here as well, because that way somebody could do a one-timer subscription product. Let's say we have an example of somebody using what they might do on Canva. They're doing like, join me for a vacation, and I need $500. Step 1, the person would go in, obviously, and they would just change their, the logo and so forth. That is easily understood by simply giving them the link to the basic customize here. They don't need to even do this, however, because nobody's really going to be going to this site to do anything other than to pay. But if they wanted to do so, it's as easy as just literally showing them how to change the logo. That's it. 1 step. Easy enough for my mom to do. I'm going to leave this right now at Poofka. Step 2, they just create a product, add a new product. It could be a one-timer subscription. Let's say we're going to make Travel with Spence product. This is virtual. There's no downloadable, but that's fine. We could say it's downloadable if there was maybe some docs or something. $500, simple product. Now, out of the box, they could just choose the checkout page like we normally do for launch flows, or this can be pre-configured as the default. And likewise, thank you page, instant clean. What I will probably do in the Poofka is provide a model of each of these products, much like I've done in Launch Kit. Now, there's no need to add a custom image, but it could be added as well. You can show them this. So these are just 3 clicks, right? I mean, there's very little happening here. Let's use this as the product. Okay, done. You see, we're not doing marketing automation. We're not adding people to lists. We're allowing guest checkouts even, because all that we care about is creating a product that has a link. So step 2, done. Step 3, get the link. That's it. So right here is now the Poofka link. Person goes over to Canva following instructions, and let's go to my model and buy your ticket. Let's just do buy ticket. And then what we're going to do here is we click on this particular button, and we are going to turn that into a link. So I always get stuck on this part because I'm zoomed so far out. There we go. Click here, link, paste, enter, done. Now I can publish. Step 4, publish, right? And this would be true, by the way, whether we're doing it on Canva or we're doing it on something else. But let's just go over here and we say share. And this is going to be published as a website. So we look for a website. And what's neat about this is that Canva would allow somebody, for example, to use their own domain with or without navigation. This is just a 1-page thing. So we're going to say free domain, and we're going to just call this the name of whatever we think this business is, Travel with Spence. I publish, I'm done. That's it. Step 5, use it. So the concept here, as you'll see in a second, is that somebody can have full control. In this case, I was using Canva, but I could be just as easily using any tool, like I'll show you in a second, YouTube, Twitter, whatever. Something that immediately associates a product that they own with their checkout to this social media, website, email. Watch what happens. Somebody goes to their website, it immediately sends that product to the checkout, ready to purchase and pay. And I've already set this up with all the necessary information. So, Bob Buyer, 1234 Main Street, United States. So the person will actually be able to use this right away, even without putting in their Stripe key. Now, if they do want to get this live, they'll just put in their Stripe key, but that's one extra button to click. Okay, so Chicago, Illinois, 6062, and that's it. And we just use our demo information. And I haven't tested this, but it should work right out of the box. They can save the information, whatever they need, place the order, and now they've collected money. Now, the concept I want to impress upon you is whether you're offering them those simple pages or whether or not you're offering them this as just a service to use anywhere, they own 100% of this money after the 2.9% and 30 cents. No, Donna actually asks a great question. It is WooCommerce. It's WooCommerce, WooCommerce subscriptions and launch flows, but it's just set up ready to go in a box. So nobody has to think about anything, and it doesn't have any of the complex other stuff. The purpose of this is so that somebody, your client, the people who are just, I need a one-time thing you meet on the streets, have an impulse buy version of what they otherwise would get in the more complex subscription offerings of Launch Kit and Marketing Hub, but without all the overhead. This is like their gateway drug into what you're offering. Now, they even have the option of having a shop and all the rest of the stuff. But the important part, which is really key, is that that link for this product can be used anywhere. So at any particular time, the person can simply return to the dashboard with no skills, and they will see their product, right? And all you need to show them, in fact, once they get the link, is just to use the link anywhere they want to sell something. Let's do another example. Here's that Launch Flows checkout link. This, by the way, can be listed on the front, which I'll probably put into the final offering. Let's say they were on Twitter. Okay. You could show them how, hey, buy my travel thing now. Paste it in, post. Now, I just posted it live, but the point of the story is, look, my Twitter goes right to putting that product in the cart. I better delete that before I sell too many of them. Okay. Let's do another one. YouTube or Instagram, right? So if you have a YouTube account and you're doing a video, this is where you'd want to put that information in. So for example, as the end user, I'm making a new video. You publish the video, and in the process of publishing video, you have the details, right? So you have the ability to, let's not loop here. You have the ability to edit the video and put in the notes. This is where you would put it in here. I'm not going to do it while we're live, but you would put it in here so that it says, click here to get what I'm offering. You get the idea. Now, finally, email, right? So if you're using, for example, Fluent CRM, or you're using Gmail or any kind of email program, you have a link now that can be sent to somebody ready to buy. And the best part about this is it doesn't matter what tool you're using for editing. Literally everything and anything can accept a link. So let's bring it all back home. Why am I talking about this? Why is it relevant? The basic idea is that you who are already using Launch Kit or Marketing Hub have the components you need, but there's a much more complex array of stuff that's available. I'm saying that at the very bottom of your value ladder is an offering that you can make for $197 to just about anybody under the sun that says, I'm going to give you a transactional engine to sell access to a meeting with you, to sell access to a physical product that you might ship out, to you're doing babysitting, you're collecting money for a parents club. Anything that people want to collect money for is far better when you give them a place to do it, that they can not only publish the information, but they can use tools like Canva to publish the information or their social media. But the money all comes into one place which later is available to use with more complex tools. So it's kind of like if you bought the starter pack of AAA batteries, there's 2 in the box, but you know that you can get the rest of them later. And in doing so, I think this is important. Everybody out there is a creator, right? And they have something to sell. But the idea is it doesn't have to be complex. It doesn't have to be a big relationship. And it can work on any kind of device, as you've probably seen from this kind of stuff. We're using the core cadence. We're using responsive layouts. What I'm going to be offering to you guys, if you're not already a member of LaunchKit or Marketing Hub, would be the ability to get $47 out of each 197 sale. I'm going to be offering this through this other partnership as it is, and it's probably going to be a high volume offering. There is a lifetime ownership of this bundle, which is to say it's not being supported in the same way as LaunchKit or Marketing Hub. It is literally just updates of all the software and updates of the starter file so that somebody can go ahead and launch this, or you can launch it for them on something as simple as Hostinger. So there'll be a link in the offer as well that somebody could start with, for example, this, and you can offer this to your clients. They go to Hostinger, they pick up for 12 months, basic package. And this link again, if you do it yourself, Hostinger, I think, offers you 40% commission on this $53. It's $53 for them. So they can pay $197 for the basic, the Poofka software. Let's say if you're offering it in your own curated way out of what you've got in LaunchKit, and then $53 of which you'll get 40% of it. So their total cost is, if you do nothing for them, it's like under $250 or roughly $250 all in, including 12 months of hosting. And Hostinger will also give them their own domain, their own email, and manage all of their questions, which is the best part. You could charge them a service fee for setting things up and maybe doing some basic things. I would suggest you could charge $250 to $300 without blinking an eye, which means that your potential sale value as using this idea would be one-time fee, $250 to $300. Let's call it $300. One-time sale, $197. That's $497. And then no responsibility other than making sure that you have given the person an update of any plugins that happen, which can be available as simply as putting it inside of your site with a download link when you get them from me, or if you do send them to me as an affiliate, that will be managed directly on my part. So you wouldn't even need to worry about that. And that's it. Today, I'm trying to be brief. I want to give you guys some inspiration, because what's happening is a lot of support from everybody. Yesterday, I went to the local surgeon who is the specialist in this very, very unique kind of endoscopic procedure that will hopefully help me with what's wrong with my L3, L4 discs. I basically, the first procedure did not clean things up. And so there's leaky discs and there's encumbrances and there's tugging on the nerves. And it's become, as you can tell, increasingly difficult for me to sit still or stand or do anything. And so what happened, ironically, I was going to go to Florida. I found somebody locally who I feel is an expert and I trust, who feels that he validated everything that I self-diagnosed through all my research and stuff. So I've set the date at the 19th, which ironically was the very same date I was going to be in Florida. What I'm going to be doing with you guys in the meantime is I have so many cool things happening, including tomorrow we're going to be recording our first show, myself and Chris Latham, on the WP Marketing Hub. Things that you can do with Go High Level and the WP Launch Kit, or in the case of if you're using Go High Level, the Marketing Hub, how the two work as a system. So I'm starting a new show there. I have another new stream of content that's going to start as well with Kurt Von Arnim that's related to business ideas that you can do with the Launch Kit. And then finally, I have a couple really important announcements that will happen at the end of February. So what I'm saying is, I've set my brain, I've set my motivation, I've set my holy mackerel, and there's only 3 outcomes after all this drama. When people are experiencing real challenges in their lives, there's 3 outcomes. It gets fixed, it gets worse, or you're dead. Now, I'm not dying of anything. I mean, I have pain and problems, but I'm not dying of anything. The risks and rewards of going for fixing the thing are much greater than the risks of the worst case happening, because these are professionals, and I think it would be ridiculous after several surgeries already to be like hedging my bet and sitting here like ants in my pants forever. So I need to get this fixed. So what I've been doing is trying to concentrate on providing as much content, as much help, as much support, as well as just personal inspiration for all of you guys who may be challenged with the problems of dealing with living life in 2024 as an entrepreneur in a changing world or as an implementer. By simplifying, focusing, keeping yourself busy with something productive, it helps to push back or fight the demons. And then my personal goal is I keep a journal. I write down every single thing, and I write down all my pluses, my minuses, my ideas, whatever. Many of you who have given me a very much appreciated compliment that what I do for you is keep you on track. I'm not trying to be your coach, but I am trying to give you the no bullshit. This is a good idea. That's not a good idea. And the reason is because when I've been encumbered with all these things, it's helped me to really focus on what's important. I don't have the physical or psychological bandwidth when I'm fighting these other demons to be distracted. All right, so that's it for today. It's a very light day. I am actually going to stand up, walk around. I'm using my TENS machine, and I'm using my heat, and I'm using walking and a shower, and I got my hot tub recovered from the ice storm. I'm going for another MRI today. So I'm going to keep you guys posted, but like in your own personal journeys, what I want you to do is consider whether or not having something like Poofka is a good idea. Do you know anybody who is trying to sell anything, anywhere, anytime? If so, you will be able to sell them that and pick up $47 for the sale, or use your launch kit or marketing hub to do the same. And in doing so, you're going to start a relationship at a point where somebody may be willing to do an impulse buy, but not ready to get in a relationship. And one last thing that reminds me of, because admittedly, one of the worst parts about being encumbered with this back is I've been socially out of commission for 90 plus days. I mean, it's a drag. I have my friends and my other things, but socially and in relationships and stuff, it's been a real drag. So the point of the story is, if you keep it simple, I won't bother you with, but relationships are like business. I'll give you this story without going into my dating life. You can't go and meet somebody and expect that the first time you meet them, hey, come on home and meet the kids and the parents. You have to start with, hey, you want to go grab a cup of coffee or a cocktail? 5 minutes, 15 minutes. And if they like that, then you can say, hey, maybe we'll go to lunch. No commitment. Maybe after lunch, if you still like each other, you go out to dinner, you go for a longer evening. Maybe you do some stuff thereafter. But the point is, there are people in your business life exactly the same way. You meet them today, you look like an expert because you're wearing the right hat. You need to give them something that's like at the level of a cup of coffee. That's $197. That's Poofka. I appreciate all your support and your love, and I'm really excited for all the great things that are happening here and with your own sites. If you have any questions, email me at help@wplaunchify.com. Otherwise, it's time for me to start moving, and I'll see you guys on the next video.